All right, okay, imagine this. You're finally about to nuke that leftover pizza slice. The good stuff, extra cheese.
Oh, yeah, prime moment.
Your show's paused, everything's perfect. You reach in the fridge and whoosh, gallon of milk goes flying.
No.
Everywhere. You slip, you're doing this weird ballet in milk, totally drenched. You grab your phone, obviously, ready to fire off tweets demanding justice from Big Dairy.
Maybe a biohazard suit.
Totally. Okay, maybe a bit much, right?
Just a little. Though the pizza time lost is tragic.
Exactly. But that level of panic is usually for, real emergencies. Which brings us to today's deep dive. It's quite something.
Mm-hmm.
Found this story on Reddit, Arbro Updates. Guy, 22, posted originally in Writa, username on nearby volume 7067. And forget spilled milk, this dude was facing potential parts removal.
Indeed. And it starts so normally, doesn't it? His plan. Netflix binge. Just chilling.
Right. Standard night in.
Meanwhile, his girlfriend, out clubbing for her best friend's birthday. And get this, the club is a 5-minute walk from their place.
Seriously, 5 minutes. That detail becomes kind of crucial.
It certainly does.
So our guy, let's call him OOP, is watching, competitive dog grooming or something. Around 11 p.m., bam, his body just stages this revolt downstairs.
Oof.
He says, felt like that, classic, just got kicked in the nuts vibe. He probably thought weird and tried to ignore it.
But nope, not that simple.
Not even close. Minutes later, it ramps up, serious agony. He's curled up, thinking, what is happening? And then he notices swelling.
Yeah, visible swelling on the right testicle.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's not just a random ache. It's, a medical event.
Event is putting it mildly. He tries to stand up, get his phone, maybe Google it, collapses. Pain like being pelted in the nuts over and over again. Dude is imagining it. Yikes.
That sounds incredibly intense.
Somehow he crawls to his phone. Gotta call the girlfriend, right? She's right there. First call. Voicemail.
Straight to voicemail. Okay.
So he texts her. Direct quote. Something is wrong and she could come home immediately.
Seems clear enough, given the situation. A reasonable request to your partner who's 5 minutes away.
You'd think. Her reply. A text. What is it? That emoji.
The unimpressed face. Wow.
It's like peak digital dismissal. He tries calling again. Rejected. Just declined.
Okay, so he's clearly trying to convey urgency, and she's just not getting it.
Or not wanting to. He texts back, probably typing through the pain. I need to go to the hospital now.
That seems pretty unambiguous.
Her reply. For what? For what? He just says, my balls hurt. Simple. Direct. What more do you need?
At that point, the pain must have been blinding, and that's when he calls emergency services, right?
Yeah, he dials 911 or whatever the equivalent is. Interesting thing, though, he said his first thought was for her to drive him. Guess he felt weird calling an ambulance for, his balls hurting.
Understandable hesitation, maybe, but the dispatcher picked up on the urgency, thankfully, said they'd call back.
Right, but while he's waiting, probably writhing on the floor, things get worse.
How so?
He checks his phone, maybe hoping for an, oh my God, on my way. Text. Nope. Laughing emojis. From her.
Laughing emojis.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. He tries calling again. Declined. Then she texts him, basically saying, stop playing games. I'll block you if you call again.
Oh, no.
And guess what? Blocked. She actually blocked him while he's having a legit medical emergency that could cost him a body part. Nuts, right?
That's astounding.
Yeah.
Blocking him, going from dismissive to actively shutting down communication. That's a huge failure of, everything. Empathy, understanding.
Totally. So he's alone, blocked, in agony. Only option left, call emergency services back and say, yeah, get that ambulance here now.
Which they did, presumably quite quickly.
Yep. Paramedics arrive, scoop him up, off to the hospital. Next thing he knows, he's waking up post-surgery. They had to fix his right testicle.
Testicular torsion. It's incredibly serious.
The doctor basically tells him, dude, you were lucky. We caught this just in time. Any longer.
And you could have lost it. Yeah, the time frame for torsion is critical. Delaying treatment drastically increases the risk of losing the testicle.
Conezo, imagine. So he finally gets his phone back, sees a million missed calls and texts from her. Apparently she got home eventually.
She finally went home.
Yeah, but only after seeing the evidence of his ordeal on the floor, vomit, and then realizing he wasn't actually there.
So the physical evidence clued her in, not his actual calls for help.
Seems like it. Then she has, quote, a full mental breakdown, starts spamming his phone. He just texts her the hospital name and room number, then probably just collapses again.
That sequence of events is telling. Her concern only ignites when faced with the mess.
Right. Next morning, she's there, passed out on the visitor couch.
And the apologies begin, I assume.
Oh, yeah. The greatest hits album. I thought you were joking. You were trying to ruin my fun night. And the big one, I was drunk.
The classic excuses.
Our guy is understandably furious, wanted to dump her right then and there. I mean, ignoring someone like that when you're that close and staying out till 3 a.m.? Come on.
Even if she was drinking, the initial dismissal happened before she could have been that impaired, surely. The pattern started earlier.
Exactly. He does say she stayed at the hospital the next few days, helped him out, but the trust shattered.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to rebuild.
He went home planning the breakup, but felt conflicted. She seemed really sorry, called it a huge mistake. They'd been together 5 years, since high school.
That shared history makes it much harder. It pulls you back, even after something this significant.
For sure. So eventually they have the big talk. He lays it all out, ignoring him, blocking him, not checking, being mad about the mess.
How did she react then?
Defensive at first. Said he could have explained better. That she genuinely thought he was kidding. Even suggested it couldn't have been that painful. That he was exaggerating.
Whoa. Minimizing his pain after knowing he needed emergency surgery?
Yeah.
That's not good. That's a huge red flag. Lack of accountability.
Right. He pushed back like, dude, I was in agony, barely conscious. How was I supposed to text a detailed essay? That's when the tears started.
The waterworks.
Or apologies if I'd known how serious it was. Even apologized for being mad about the cleanup, blaming tiredness and being tipsy. Then he asks the killer question. Was she maybe doing something she shouldn't have been, and that's why she assumed he was joking?
Oh, bold question. That suggests the trust was already shaky, maybe.
Could be. More tears, denials. They hugged, but it was clearly broken,
The damage was done.
He told her he needed space, asked her to stay at her parents', more crying, begging him not to break up, but he stood firm, said he needed time to see if trust was even possible.
That's fair. He needed to process.
He even mentioned maybe they were both young, immature, and this whole nightmare was a harsh lesson, whatever happened next. She packed her stuff, promised to fix things, and left. They kept in touch a bit, but that was it for a while.
Taking space was probably the smartest move. That foundation was seriously cracked.
Okay, fast forward a couple of months. Short update from OOP on Reddit. Someone asks how he is. His reply, and I quote, thank you. Me and my boys are doing fine.
Glad to hear he's okay. Me and my boys. Plural. Good sign.
Right. He continues, I'm not posting an update since I had a lot of people calling me a bitch in my DMs. I've broken up with her and am doing much better.
Wow, DM's calling him names. For what?
Who knows? The internet, right. But yeah, he broke up with her. Doing much better. Mic drop. End of story.
Good for him.
Yeah.
It sounds like he made the right call for himself.
Yeah.
The negative DMs are awful, but sadly not surprising online.
So let's recap the insanity. Girlfriend ignores boyfriend's desperate calls while he's having a literal balls-to-the-wall emergency downstairs.
Because she thinks it's a prank or he's cramping her style.
Hits the block button. He ends up in surgery, almost loses a part. She apologizes, blames him, blames the booze.
He eventually ends it and feels way better. A pretty clear case study in trust, communication, and maybe not ignoring frantic calls from your partner 5 minutes away.
Seriously. It just highlights how crucial that stuff is. Trust, listening, actually believing your partner when they say something's wrong.
Especially in an emergency.
So, final thought here. Dude, if your partner ignores your 9/11 level crisis because they think you're just being a drama llama, is that relationship even fixable? Or are you the one overreacting? Nuts, right? Ignoring that kind of emergency for club night. That's just, I don't.
Wow.